Tariffs are about making America rich again and making America great again, and it's happening, and it will happen rather quickly. There'll be a little disturbance, but we're okay with that. It won't be much.
Of course, that is President Trump last night reinforcing his decision to impose tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and China, despite recent market turbulence. But you see the Dow Jones Industrial Average next to me. It's actually up slightly today. Those three nations responded with reciprocal tariffs on U.S. goods. And last night, President Trump vowed, quote, "Whatever they tax us, we will tax them," end quote, and promised more reciprocal tariffs to come next month. So what does this all mean? Let's bring in CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger, who is here with me in Studio 55 in living color. Jill, great to see you. Let's separate the noise from the data. What is changing on the tariff front, if anything?
Well, remember, these tariffs were frozen for 30 days, so now they are in effect. And the president slapped an additional 10% on top of already announced 10% tariffs on China. So taken all together, what I think we really need to understand is that some of these tariffs will work their way to your pocketbook very quickly. Others will take a while. So think about it this way. Something perishable, a fruit, a vegetable, an avocado from Mexico, that is going to actually see an immediate impact. First of all, we get a lot of stuff from Mexico when it comes to fruits and vegetables, 50 to 60%. And the things that are perishable, we got to change. They're going to be more immediate imports of those things. Whereas a car that's sitting on a lot today, your car will probably not change in price. When new cars are assembled and put up for sale, there will be thousands of dollars, or could be a thousands of dollars difference from where they were just a month ago. So it will take a while. Generally speaking, remember, the company that imports the good pays the tariff, and usually that company passes along that tariff and pushes up the price. That's why we worry about inflation re-accelerating.
That's a great way of kind of comparing the smaller picture to the big picture. But I want to ask you about the even bigger picture. There was an announcement from the Trump administration. There may be a change in how GDP, gross domestic product, this great number that you love to cite all the time, a change in how it's calculated. What's happening there?
Well, no change yet,
Okay.
but the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, had said yesterday, I think we focused on this idea. He says, listen, the tariffs, they could be rolled back, they could be changed. A lot of focus on that. Wonks like me were focused on something else, he said, which is, hey, maybe we're going to have different ways of calculating the gross domestic product. That is our largest measure of what's going on in the U.S. economy,
Right.
The tally of all goods and services sold. Now, what he may want to do is pull out some of the government part of that. And government spending accounts for 15, 16, 17% of all spending. So this would be actually a very big change. So economists are focused. They're very worried that any changes that we get to the way that data are released would impact how people might be feeling on the ground. Hey, if the government says the economy's doing okay, and yet I feel like things are costing more, or my friend got laid off, that would be a very, almost like a crazy-making experience for anybody living on the ground. So we're going to watch that. I think that could actually have a very interesting impact on how all economists approach what this next phase of the Trump administration looks like.
And can you just help us understand the logic of pulling out what the government spends? Why even do that?
You know, I think it's a very, I don't know what the why is, because I think that there's always this feeling that when your person is not in office, your team is not in office, that there's something going on with the numbers. What we do know is civil servants who run the data for the Labor Department and for all these government agencies, they've clung to these ways of calculating economic progress and missteps as well for decades. So any change in this would be very disruptive to the way that we analyze what's going on. Of course, by the way, you know how you analyze what's going on? A friend of mine once said this to me, a very big-time Nobel Prize-winning economist.
Oh, okay.
And you know what he said? He goes, you know, when it comes to the world, there's basically two numbers. 100% I have a job, 0% I don't have a job. Everything else flows from that. So if people are losing jobs, they won't spend money. That's going to hurt economic growth.
That's why he's got that Nobel Prize,
That's
breaking
right.
things down so well.
If
Jill
only I
Schlesinger,
thought of
yours
that.
is due. It's coming soon. Thank you so much. Great to have you with us.